Part 15. Fantasy, the Empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 142. Suchanga was very used to Sukinksu's duplicity. This guy is so cute and arrogant. She is exactly the same as Nangong Wen before. Okay, I'll leave the spirit to you. Suchanga lifted Xiaolinger off his shoulders and handed it to Sukinksu. At the same time, two spiritual thoughts were left on Sukinksu and Xiaolinger. If the lives of Sukinksu and Xiaolinger are in danger, in case of crisis, he can be at their side in an instant. This can be regarded as a foolproof preparation. I will take good care of Linger. Sukinksu waved her arm. She is a sister. It is the right thing to take care of her sister. But I just don't know what Suchanga is going to do, but her father wouldn't tell her and she didn't want to ask any more questions. Anyway, it's whatever. Let's go, Win. Suchanga said hello, and then appeared in the fairy world again with Nangong Win. 64 of the 72 king's tokens were found in the King of 10,000 Realms map, and many more were scattered around. In the immortal realm. There are also many in the heavenly realm. In the immortal god dynasty, in the god city. Since the Qing emperor got a lot of benefits from begging, the beggar industry has flourished in the immortal god dynasty. After all, there is nothing. Damn it, as long as your acting skills are up to standard, you can get elixirs and other things for free, so why not do it? And there is even an existence called the beggar gang in the immortal city, which provides unified leadership to these beggars, divides them into regions, etc. Several beggars were begging outside a restaurant in the city of God. This restaurant was the restaurant that Qing Emperor liked to come to most at that time. This is a place where our ancestors often come, a geomantic treasure. One day of begging is equivalent to 1 month of begging elsewhere. A big beggar said with a smile. In the industry of beggars, Qing Emperor has become like a patriarch. After all, Qing Emperor has excellent acting skills and outstanding strength. He is also the disciple of that terrifying and powerful man. His master wife is Ice Palace. The master of the palace must be treated with respect even by the god emperor of the immortal dynasty. Qing Emperor has become a legend of the beggar clan. It is estimated that Qing Emperor will want to vomit blood after seeing the situation here. This is his dark history. Unexpectedly, a trend developed and a beggar gang was formed. The beggar gang has no gang leader. They all want to wait in the mortal world for the gang leader to return. Ahem. Yes, after all, those who can eat here are either rich or noble, but recently it seems that some people have noticed that we are fake. A beggar echoed. There was a token on his waist. On the token were 2 big characters engraved in ancient Chinese, swallowing the sky. But this little beggar didn't know what the token of king swallowing the sky meant. Just put it on the waist casually. At this moment, a breeze blew by, and Suchanga appeared in front of the little beggar. Fellow Taoist, how did you get this jade tablet? Suchanga asked with a smile. The little beggar raised his head. His eyes were full of doubts. Fellow Taoist? No one has called him that for a long time since he became a beggar. At first glance, it feels really refreshing. After all, after so many days, although people gave him alms, the respect they had in the past has disappeared. Everyone looked at them with either pity or contempt in their eyes. All of a sudden, there was a guy named Daiyu, and I really couldn't get used to it. This token was given to me by my father. The little beggar replied honestly. He had no intention of hiding it. After all, the call of fellow Taoist reached his heart. It was like hearing a handsome boy, feel good. Where exactly did your father get it? Can you give me the token? Suchanga turned over his hand and took out a heaven-building pill. This thing can increase the probability of breaking through to the true immortal realm and becoming an immortal lord. It has a price but no market, and the little beggar happens to be in the true immortal realm. It can be said that the heaven-building pill is not the most powerful, precious, but the most suitable. Okay, here it is. This token was obtained by my father during his exploration when he was young. The specific location is at, being specific is of no use. The little beggar was directly grateful. All he had to do was kneel down and kowtow to Suchanga. A sky-building pill. It's still the best sky-building pill. This is so precious. Once you break through to the immortal realm, he wouldn't have to sell his soul to be a beggar. Okay, I know. After Suchanga finished speaking, he disappeared directly. Thank you, Senior, thank you, Senior. The little beggar was kowtowing on the ground. But there was no one in front of him. Changa, why do you still want to give him the elixir? Nangong Wen asked in confusion. In fact, with Suchanga's method, he could easily take away the jade token without being discovered by this little beggar. Cause and effect. Suchanga smiled slightly. Riddler. Nangong Wen rolled her eyes, unable to complain. Cause and effect is so mysterious that it can be used to explain everything. Suchanga said this, which is equivalent to not saying anything. King Tunchen, one of the 72 kings, ranks second after King Xuxian, and has suffered many consequences, the devouring method of the immortal temple and the devouring method practiced by the Supreme Lord actually originated from the devouring king. Suchanga smiled slightly. It is said that King Swallowing Heaven was a swallowing heaven mang in ancient times, an ancient alien species. He was amazingly talented and brilliant. He created his own method of swallowing and constantly perfected it. Heavy debts. In this way, there is indeed a cause and effect. Nangong Wen sighed. Unexpectedly, the evil consequences caused by the immortal temple and the supremes all came from King Tunchen. The king of Swallowing Heaven, the king of Lihan, and the king of Icewheel, these heavenly kings were all evil existences in ancient times, and survived until now. Suchanga smiled slightly. Survived until now. Nangong Wen was shocked. Does that kind of powerful Hedeo still exist in the world? Yes, but most of them have been sealed. Those who are strong in Hedeo are immortal unless they use special means. Suchanga explained to Nangong Wen. These things about ancient times are all obtained from the King of 10,000 Realms map. I have to say that the world in ancient times was really full of strong people. But now everything has disappeared into the long river of history. Even the endless hells that are as numerous as the sands of Hengsha have disappeared. Only the remains of the King of Elephants remain in the world. What happened in ancient times is unknown. Is King Tunchen still alive? Nangong Wen asked doubtfully. If King Tunchen is still alive and takes King Tunchen's token, wouldn't something happen? I do not know, give it a try. Suchanga smiled, and then activated the Swallowing King token in his hand. The moment the power was injected, the heaven and earth in the fairy world shook violently. Dragon veins bulged one after another, and violent fluctuations swept through the fairy world. The terrifying black energy raged, forming the shadow of a giant python from the sky, and its bloody mouth seemed to be able to swallow everything. It looks like he's still alive. Suchanga said lightly. The corners of Nangong Wen's mouth twitched. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 143. It seems that King Tunchen is really still alive. Nangong Wen was slightly shocked, but she was madly complaining about Suchanga. His probing method was a bit too much. Just bring this billion-year-old monster back to life. King Swallowing Heaven. As the origin of the supreme law, even the master of the immortal temple is just a young disciple who has received the inheritance from King Tunchen. This shows how tyrannical King Tunchen is. The black giant pythons gathered in the sky seemed to be able to swallow the sky and the earth. As soon as they appeared, the spiritual energy of the entire fairy world was stagnated, and a large gap was instantly formed. The terrifying devouring power is frantically consuming the origin of the fairy world. At the same time, as if he felt that this source was not enough, the devouring power turned to several monks. The method of devouring is not about devouring spiritual energy, but devouring human life. King Swallowing Heaven has just woken up and is not very awake yet. He is just relying on instinct to make up for the power that has been vacant due to being sealed for many years. Eat, eat. An inexplicable murmur sounded. Everyone in the fairy world, no matter who hears this voice, will feel as if they are facing endless chaos, and their thoughts are confused. Moreover, this voice is full of negative emotions such as extreme violence and hatred. There is no need at all. I doubt that this black giant python will easily swallow the fairy world. Suchanga fell silent. Why does this guy want to destroy the world as soon as he comes out? Standard villain template. Little black snake. Better kill it. King Tunchan, do you know where the other 72 kings sleep? Suchanga moved his palm slightly, and directly took the King of Heaven swallowing into the palm of his hand. After the black python that spanned the world changed several times, it turned into a small black python in Suchanga's hand. Snake, she looks very cute on the outside, but her violent and resentful emotions cannot be hidden at all. Hiss. King Tian just roared in response. He was shocked in his heart. Even the ancient ruler king couldn't control him like this. How did this guy do it? At the same time, his body was struggling crazily, trying to break free. Suchanga's bondage. Speak humanly, I know you can speak. The corners of Suchanga's mouth twitched, and with a pinch, he directly pinched the little black snake in half from the middle. Hiss. King Tunchan let out a fierce cry of pain, kept spitting out snake letters, and twisted the snake's body crazily, trying to escape from Suchanga's control. But it was to no avail. Human, what do you want to ask? The eyes of King Tunchan are scarlet. Suchanga was slightly startled. Is this snake not thinking clearly? He has clearly asked the question just now, and now this guy is asking himself the question again. Hateful. With another slight exertion, King Tunchan was divided into two parts again. Only a quarter of the huge snake body is left. Very miserable. Ouch. Speak nicely. Where are the tokens of the 72 kings? If you don't tell me, don't blame me for being ruthless. Suchanga smiled slightly. With a slight movement of his palm, King Tunchan was divided into two parts again, his breath became weak, and at the same time, the scarlet in his eyes dimmed. King Tunchan really wanted to rant against Suchanga. He was so soundly asleep that he was immediately awakened by someone using the token. I thought that my inheritor came to find me, just in time to help me swallow it and restore the vitality that had been consumed for many years. But I didn't expect that it would be a big boss who woke me up. Without saying a word, he just cut himself wildly. Now, let alone regaining his strength is only 1/8. Hateful. Say it or not? Suchanga asked helplessly. This guy answered so slowly that he almost had the urge to kill King Tunchan. Anyway, this guy has done many evil things and has a lot of blood debt, so it doesn't matter if he kills him. Talk talk talk. King Tunchan felt Suchanga's murderous intention, gave in, and began to remember. The token of King Xuxian is here, in a divine city. There is also the dead body of the Elephant King there. If it can be swallowed. Let's get to the point. Suchanga rebuked angrily. At the same time, a bolt of thunder struck King Tunchan, directly splitting most of his body into pieces. Hiss. A trace of resentment flashed in King Tunchan's eyes. At the same time, I can only tell Suchanga the key points honestly. King Xuxian. The King of Lihan. Ice Will King. Killing King, Wild Horn King, Murderous King, Barbarian King. King Tunchen recalled for a while and slowly told the locations of all the tokens of the 72 kings. After all, they had built and distributed this thing together back then, and it was part of the plan. He still remembered it very clearly. It doesn't matter if you tell this bastard, anyway, when the 72 kings revive, the whole world will be in their palms. So, thank you very much. Suchanga smiled slightly. King Tunchen actually knew all the tokens he had vacant. Very good. He was in a good mood. So Suchanga used his palms hard, trying to crush King Tunchen to death. What are you doing? Wang Tiantian felt the strange pressure and yelled in despair, but it was of no use at all. In front of Suchanga's power, he was really like a little snake. There is no ability to resist at all. Asshole! When the boss comes out, he will never let you go. Wang Tiantian roared. When King Xuxian is born, this bastard will definitely be killed. But King Tunchen has no idea that King Xuxian has been killed by Suchanga. Your boss, King Xuxian. That's right. Suchanga hesitated. Should he tell King Tuntian that King Xuxian was killed by him? Is this a bit too cruel? Never mind. Suchanga shook his head slightly, and then directly squeezed King Tuntian to death. In an instant, the world became clear. The smell of resentment and blood disappeared, and the aura of the fairy world returned. The death of King Tuntian represents the complete disappearance and decline of the Supreme Dharma. After all, King Tunchen is the ancestor and founder of the Supreme Dharma. Changa, how many tokens are left? Nangang Wen asked with a smile. She was also very happy that King Tunchen died. After all, that guy was not a good person in terms of his skills and essence. Still short of the king of hatred and the king of killing life, not much more, these guys are all sleeping in the heaven, sealed by the master of the year. Suchanga replied. Back then, the 72 kings were considered a group of relatively awesome people, able to compete with the Lord and the true demon. But the ending is very miserable. All those who survived were sealed, and not even a little bit of news was spread to the world. If Suchanga hadn't found the king of immortals and the king of divine elephants in the divine city, the ancient history might still be hidden to this day. Then go to heaven. It's the lower realm of heaven. Suchanga smiled slightly. He hugged Nangang Wen's waist and disappeared instantly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, the Empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 144. Lower Realm. Great Chu Dynasty. The current Great Chu Dynasty has many literati. Many literati practiced literature and thus gained great power. At the same time, children from poor families began to serve as officials within the Chu Dynasty one after another. The Chu Dynasty was just a microcosm of the general trend of the world. At the same time, in the royal capital of the Chu Dynasty, the Kong family prodigy was at its peak, unparalleled for a while. Kong Heiran. When you are born, heaven and earth congratulate you, all kinds of auspicious clouds come towards you, and the purple energy of the heavens shines, as if there are goddesses singing and dancing. He can walk in March and speak in June. When he was 1 year old, he composed a quatrain, and his vast literary spirit descended from the sky, shocking the entire Chu dynasty. Child prodigy. At this time, Kong Heiran was following behind Mr. Mo, admiring the lotus flowers from the Chu Academy. The world has changed greatly. Men of letters can practice literature, which gives me the opportunity to ascend. Heiran, you must remember to uphold Heiran's spirit and don't do anything harmful to your heart. Mr. Mo took Kong Heiran to enjoy the flowers, and occasionally explained a few words to Kong Heiran. Great talents come from Chu. Mr. Mo was very attentive to Kong Heiran's teachings. Yes. Kong Heiran replied helplessly. but he was determined in his heart. The Lord sent him to reincarnation to revitalize the literary world. He will never let down the Lord's high expectations. I have taken advantage of the literary spirit of heaven and earth. Alas, when you grow up, you must revitalize the literary spirit for your teacher. Mr. Mo sighed with emotion. Originally, he just liked painting. And a few years ago, he was enlightened by that adult's transformation, and he had a deeper breakthrough in the way of painting. But just painting, what's the use? Just being able to, it's just about cultivating one's sentiments. I don't have any understanding of the legendary Tao. But since the emergence of literary spirit, painting can also improve one's own cultivation. All because of the emergence of literary spirit between heaven and earth. To revitalize the literary world, that's for sure, I want to become a saint. Kong Heiran said confidently. He clearly remembered that Master Su sent him to reincarnation at that time, full of expectations. He hoped that he could become Kong Sheng in the future. Kong Sheng. In his previous life, there was only one Kong Sheng, known as Kong Sheng. The number one saint in the world, his status is unquestionable, which shows that the Lord has high expectations for him. Sanctification? Haha, be ambitious. Old Mo laughed loudly. Becoming a saint is so difficult. Even in the heaven, those who become saints are the geniuses of a certain area. But he did not say anything to hurt Kong Heiran. As a child, it is a good thing to be a little confident. I want to ask you, what is a saint? Old Mo suddenly became interested and asked with curiosity. He really wanted to know how this little baby would answer. After all, at this time, the literary hope of the great Chu dynasty was even hailed as a child prodigy who was the reincarnation of a saint. Does he have any unique insights? Although Mr. Mo is now Kong Heiran's teacher, they often discuss issues together, and some of Kong Heiran's insights will enlighten Mr. Mo. Saint? What is a saint? Kong Heiran was stunned. This question was asked in his heart. After all, his goal is to become a saint, and the adult's expectation for him is also to become a saint. I hope someone calls him Kong Sheng. Saint. A lot of things flashed through Kong Heiran's mind. Is a saint an extremely powerful person in the holy realm? Saints are the kind from ancient myths. Is it the supreme saint that all things under the saint are ants? No. Saints should not be aloof, cold, and ruthless. Then a sentence said by the ancients in the past life flashed in Kong Heiran's mind. Establish a mind for heaven and earth, establish a destiny for the living people, carry on the unique teachings of the past saints, and create peace for all generations. This is a saint. Kong Heiran said lightly. As soon as he finished speaking, the literary energy between heaven and earth surged, converging on top of Kong Heiran's head to form a literary energy that reached directly into the sky. At the same time, Kong Heiran's realm increased crazily. In less than a few breaths, he reached it directly realm of immortality. This is something like a great ambition, which is recognized by heaven and earth, and then heaven and earth give rewards. Therefore, Kong Heiran's realm cultivation level skyrocketed. His, set a heart for heaven and earth. Mr. Mo was shocked. It's hard to imagine that these words were spoken by a child. Heaven and earth congratulate you. Big ambition. Holy wish. This is the real saint. May peace be created for all eternity. There were tears in Mr. Mo's eyes, and Kong Heiran's words completely spoke to his heart. This child has the appearance of a saint. It is not that he has achieved the realm of a saint, but he is the first saint that has been respected by all people throughout the ages. Mr. Mo murmured. Seeing the infinite literary energy being injected into Kong Heiran's body, his heart was filled with emotions. Being able to become the enlightenment teacher of such a genius is a great blessing. After a long time, the vision gradually disappeared. Kong Heiran's mind slowly recovered. Mr. Su will definitely not be disappointed. Kong Hayaran shook his fist. By the way, Hayaran, I originally planned to wait until you were an adult before showing it to you, but now that I think about it, it's already time. Mr. Mo smiled slightly. He led Kong Hayaran towards a secret room. Deep in the Dachu Academy, Mr. Mo opened a closed door. Mr. Mo. Isn't this a forbidden area? Kong Hayaran was a little confused. He didn't know why Mr. Mo brought him here. It seemed like he was looking at something. He didn't know what could make Mr. Mo pay so much attention to it. Yes, it is a forbidden place. There is the transformation of a senior here. After the revival of literary spirit, this painting has become a miracle. If you observe it, it can cleanse the spiritual altar, which is of great benefit. Mr. Mo said calmly, with a flash of light in his eyes. Only the most elite literati from Dachu Academy have the right to observe. I originally wanted to wait until you grow up, but today I feel that it is already time. Mr. Mo smiled slightly and led Kong Hayaran into the secret room. Opening the window, the sunlight shone in the secret room, making it look majestic. At the top of the secret room, there was a picture scroll. This is... Kong Hayaran was stunned the moment he saw the scroll. The literary energy around me skyrocketed. The spiritual platform was washed with literary energy, and bursts of Taoist charm poured into Kong Hayaran's body from the scroll. Makeover. The scroll was flashing with divine light, which made Mr. Mo unable to open his eyes and couldn't look directly at it. What's happening here? Mr. Mo said in shock. Some literati have come to see it before, but it was just a simple washing table. This has never happened before. Such a shocking effect. Call. Kong Hayaran breathed out. Only then did I begin to look squarely at this picture. A strange white glass dragon flew out of the abyss, and there was also the daughter of the dragon. There was an inexplicable charm hidden in it, and with the influence of culture, it looked very magical. Signature below, it's Suchanga. Mr. Su's painting. Kong Hayaran was shocked and his expression changed drastically. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 145. Kong Hayaran was shocked. This painting was actually painted by Mr. Su. Could it be said that that adult has ever been to the lower world? That's right, that gentleman's cultivation is so great that he is invincible in the heaven. He should be able to come to the lower world as he pleases. Kong Hayaran's eyes flickered, and the aura around him surged by more than one level. As for Suchanga, there was no literary spirit when he was painting before, but after all, his strength and level are there. Now his literary spirit has skyrocketed, which directly led to this painting becoming a masterpiece. It is extremely helpful to literati and monks. Mr. Mo, I can already ascend. Kong Hayaran said in a daze. Now his realm has reached the pinnacle of the realm of immortality. He has no way forward in the lower realm. He is forcibly suppressing his own strength to prevent himself from ascending. The scroll made by Senior Su brought the improvement is really too great. You are able to ascend at just over a year old. It is really shocking to the world. That's why Kong Hayaran tried his best to suppress it. Ah! Old Mo was puzzled. He was completely dumbfounded. What? About to ascend? This baby of the Kong family should be only 1 or 2 years old. How come he wants to ascend? Ridiculous. Wait, Hayaran. If you want to ascend, try to hold back first, say goodbye to your parents, and then make sure you have your own power in the upper world. Mr. Mo explained to Kong Hayaran. In fact, saying goodbye to your loved ones is not that important, because when most people ascend, their loved ones are almost all dead. The most important thing is to ensure that the upper world has the power to accept you and that you can be safe after arriving in the upper world. This is the most important. Safety is more important than anything else. After all, when you ascend, You change from the top strength in the lower realm to the bottom strength in the heaven. The Kong family has no power in the upper world. The Chu dynasty's power in the upper world was not that good, and it was completely unable to protect a genius. Mr. Mo has heard that the ancient Starry Sky Road has been opened in the upper world, and countless geniuses are fighting in it. He is very aware of how brutal the fighting in the upper world is, so he is very worried about Kong Haeran's safety. It's okay, Mr. Mo. Kong Haeran shook his head. How could this be dangerous? He has already faced Su Kingxiu's pursuit once. He also has his own understanding of the Starry Sky ancient road. He is confident and is not afraid at all. No. Mr. Mo wanted to say something else. But suddenly, there was a thunder in the sky, and a figure as rich as jade appeared on the Great Chu Academy. Dressed in white, with a bronze mask on his face, he had an outstanding temperament and outstanding grace. It's Suchanga. Long time no see, Mr. Mo, Haeran. Suchanga smiled slightly and gently took off his mask. Kong Haeran and Mr. Mo were both stunned. Su, Mr. Su. Old Mo's lips were trembling slightly. He had never thought that he would be able to see Suchanga again in his life. Old Mo was ecstatic, but he could not do anything because of his old age and could only stand there alone. Excited, I wanted to lower my head and kneel down, but Suchanga gently greeted me. Su came to Dachu Academy to pick up something. Suchanga smiled slightly. In his eyes, there was a token buried deep in the core of Dachu Academy. Mr. Su, please, let alone take one thing, even if you take away all the things in Dachu Academy, I will be happy. Mr. Mo was still excited. He thought he would never see him again. Day and night, he kept Suchanga's teachings in mind, but he never thought that Suchanga would come back one day. Suchanga hummed softly, then turned his eyes to Kong Haeran. Your boy is a blessing in disguise, practice well, I will be waiting for you in heaven. Hearing Suchanga's words, Kong Haeran was greatly shocked. Then he was ecstatic. What does Mr. Su's words mean? It means that Mr. Su thinks he has done a good job. What a high praise. Kong Haeran became excited. After all, Senior Su is a being who can easily kill the terrifying unscrupulous system, and his combat power level is definitely beyond his understanding. Moreover, the more Kong Haeran thinks about the art of literature, the stronger he becomes, the more he can feel the gap between himself and Suchanga. In other words, it turns out that he is an ant. He just thinks that Suchanga is very powerful, but he doesn't know how powerful he is. Now that he has grown up, he can slightly see Suchanga's back, but he wants to. It's so difficult to chase. Okay, I'll leave first. Suchanga reached out with his palm and took out the token from deep in the academy. Then his figure gradually disappeared. Only Mr. Mo and Kong Haeran were left in a daze. After that, Suchanga went to see him again. When I met the old man Zhu Wulai, I found that this guy was still living a healthy life, in good health, and had a slight breakthrough in strength. But it was almost the end. If he wanted to ascend, his longevity was not enough. Moreover, Zhu Wulai the family is reunited, and it doesn't look like they are going to ascend, so Suchanga let him live out his life. After that, I searched several times in the lower realm and completely collected the tokens of the 72 kings. Suchanga returned to the heavenly palace in heaven again. Changa, you are back. Nangong Wen shouted in surprise. Yes, the 72 tokens have been collected, and now we can see what secrets existed in ancient times. Suchanga smiled slightly. It is said that if you collect the 72 tokens, you can obtain the secret of the entire world. Suchanga doesn't know what the secret is, so he can only collect these 72 tokens. But Suchanga felt that it might have something to do with his life experience. Do you want to turn them on? Or should I wait a little longer? Nangong Wen asked doubtfully. There was a flash of worry in her eyes. This kind of thing doesn't seem very safe. If she can be stronger, she will be more confident when opening it. Suchanga did shake his head. It makes no difference when this thing is turned on, because from ancient times to the present, these 72 tokens have been silent for tens of millions of years. The past few years are so small that these tokens are difficult to discover. Turn it on. Suchanga took out 72 tokens, placed them in strange postures, and then activated his power to inject power into the 72 tokens. For a moment, the light flourished. Vast the radiance swept across the entire world, whether it was the lower realm of the fairy world or the heavenly realm, as well as countless extraterrestrial worlds, were enveloped by this radiance. At the same time, 72 phantoms appeared on the sky. With the help of the token and the power of time and space, Zhu Xian the king and the king of Tunshan appear again. The 72 kings gather. Ha 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 ha. The master and the real demon fought to the end, didn't we, the 72 brothers, win the final victory? King Zhu Xian roared. With the help of the magical power of the 72 jade tablets, they have returned from the long river of history. No matter whether they were dead or not, King Zhu Xian doesn't think it is important anymore. Because the gathering of 72 kings is enough to burst into attendance. The power to roll up the entire world. Kill the immortal king? Resurrected again. Suchanga was slightly confused. But he understood it immediately. This was his first time to deal with a master in the Hedeo realm, so he had forgotten about the long river of time. To deal with masters in this realm, they must be extracted from the long river of time. Completely kill it, otherwise it can be resurrected through some means, which is extremely difficult to deal with. Hey, King 72, I have collected 72 tokens. Can you tell me the secret of the world? Su Changa asked with a smile. Immediately, the expressions of King Zuxian and King Tunshan changed, and a flash of fear flashed in their eyes. The other 72 kings all stared angrily. There were 72 tokens, it is indeed possible to obtain the secret of the world. But only they know that secret. The secret of the world? Ha ha ha. I will tell you that the secret of the world, the truth of everything, and even everything about the end of time, there is only one secret, and that is. King Zhu Xian's eyes flickered and he spoke every word. Suchanga listened carefully with a smile on his face. He very much hopes that King Zhu Xian will give a serious answer. If he is fooled, King Zhu Xian will end up being ugly. That is, this king, together with the 72 kings, will rule everything. King Zhu Xian smiled proudly. With the combined efforts of the 72 kings, not even the master could defeat him. Now that both the Lord and the true demon have lost, it's a good time for them to rule the world. This king announced that from now on, the immortal court will be established, and the 72 kings will rule together. The voice of King Zhu Xian was vast and majestic, sweeping across the entire world, and could be heard in countless realms. At the same time, a solemn fairy court even vaguely appeared, spanning the sky. Suchanga sighed. I gave you a chance but you didn't use it. I originally wanted to hear what the secret was, but these guys actually looked down on me so much, and even told me that the secret of the world is that they rule everything. That's outrageous. Do not blame me. Suchanga sighed. His fingertips moved slightly. A long river of time appeared, and at the same time, the terrifying divine light gathered directly into the long river of time, flew upstream, and swept out countless waves? What are you up to? King Zhu Xian was shocked. He felt his life began to drain away, and at the same time his breath began to become extremely disordered, and the timeline began to exert its power on King Zhu Xian. He is panicked. I never expected that Suchanga would be so terrifying. The last time he was killed by Suchanga, Suchanga didn't kill him from the river of time. He thought that Suchanga didn't have the strength to mobilize the river of time and just killed him with some special method. Thinking about it now, he was really wrong. The long river of time is like a small stream to the person in front of me. Feel free to play with it. Hurry, stop him. Once he finds us from the upper reaches of the river of time, we will be completely dead. King Zhu Xian shouted. The other 71 kings took action at the same time. Killing immortal blood sword. Swallowing heaven. Lihan Henshenzi. Blood moon wheel. 72 extremely powerful auras burst out at the same time, and the 72 secrets all rushed towards Suchanga. Long song. Nangong. Wen said nervously, and then she stepped forward to help Suchanga resist. It's okay, Wen. Suchanga quickly stepped forward and protected Nangong Wen behind him. Die to this king. King Zhu Xian shouted. Immediately afterwards, the 72 kings' killing blows came together according to a certain formation, forming an even more terrifying force. Back then, they relied on the combined strength of this formation to fight against the master. He Zhenmo, living between two terrifying strong men. This blow has transcended the scope of power. Everything will be destroyed under this blow. Snort. King Zhu Xian smiled confidently, as if he had seen Suchanga's death. But the next scene shocked him, and his confident face instantly turned into panic. The terrifying attack had no effect on Suchanga. Thousands of forces lined up, directly blocking their peerless attack. Then Suchangsong moved his palm slightly and directly penetrated into the river of time. Immediately afterwards, the bodies of the 72 kings exploded one after another. This is complete death. In the long river of time, no trace of them can be found. This is a very terrible thing. How can it be? How can you be so strong? Why don't the Lord and the true demon know about being so powerful? King Zhu Xian murmured desperately. He completely gave up the hope of resistance. Suchanga's strength is really too strong. It has far exceeded the realm of Hedeo. Even if the real demon and the master meet Suchanga, they will probably not be able to resist. There is no benefit, but there is a high possibility that he will die on the spot. This kind of strength is beyond the understanding of this world. I don't know how Suchanga practices. Are you the strongest person in this world? Is there another world outside these headphones? It is absolutely impossible for a strong person like you to be born in this world. Why? King Zhu Xian yelled in despair. Seeing his companions around him explode one by one, his mentality collapsed. It has been thousands of years, it's time to die. They had been fighting against the master and the real demon for so long, but in the end they died at the hands of an unknown little person. It was quite funny to say that. But this little guy, he is extremely powerful and is not the small person they thought he was. The end of time is the secret of the world. King Zhu Xian said lightly, and then his body shattered into pieces and completely fell between heaven and earth. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 146. Suchanga narrowed his eyes, not quite sure what King Zhu Xian meant. The end of time is the final truth of everything? Suchanga didn't know what the sound of this sentence was, but just looking at its superficial meaning, do we have to go to the end of time? Only at the end of time can we find the truth about the world. There is no need for the 72 kings to exist. Suchanga smiled slightly. He casually found the early consciousness bodies of the 72 kings from the long river of time, and then killed them all easily. For the 72 kings, Suchanga's power was beyond their ability to withstand. Soon, the 72 kings perished in the long river of time. By the way, let's take a look at what happened in ancient times. Suchanga frowned slightly, and his mind entered the long river of time, and began to search for scenes from ancient times. The real demon dominated the war. The 72 kings stirred up the world. The divine elephant suppressed the prison. Scenes of epic battles appeared in Suchanga's eyes, but in the end, everything suddenly disappeared. Darkness cuts off the long river of history. There is no way to investigate the history of that period. I can't see exactly what happened. After the darkness ended, there was the fairy world and the heaven world. At the same time, the 72 kings were sleeping, and the master and the real demon were nowhere to be found. The king of the elephants died in battle. What happened in the middle, even Suchanga couldn't see it. It's really strange. Suchanga sighed. Then he put away the long river of time. The long river of time automatically hides the history of that time. If you want to know the history of that time, there are only two ways. One is to override the long river of time. The other is to return to the river of time. During that period of dark history, experience it for yourself. Suchanga felt that it would be better for him to become stronger slowly. Anyway, he can become stronger by sleeping. After sleeping for a few months, his strength will completely surpass the river of time. Don't rush it. What's wrong, Changa, do you know what they mean? Nangong Wen asked. She was really frightened just now. Even if she is extremely talented, there is absolutely no way she can be the opponent of the 72 Hedeo realm kings. The 72 people worked together, and Nangong Wen was I want to die to save Suchanga. It's okay, they are probably trying to show off. Suchanga smiled slightly and didn't pay attention to what King Zhu Xian said. The end of time is simply a concept of nothingness. If you want to stir up the downstream of the long river of time, it will be hundreds of millions of times more difficult than the upstream. Only those who have the power to override the long river of time only with strength can you go to the end of time. King Zhu Xian's words are equivalent to not saying anything. If you already have that kind of strength, why not just go to the river of time and have a look? Suchanga wanted to say something else, but at the same time, a terrifying light bloomed between heaven and earth. An imperial will came from the ancient road in the starry sky. And there is a chaotic will in the dark. It's Sukingsyu. Sukingsyu is about to break through. Nangong Wen and Suchanga looked at each other, and then hurried towards the ancient starry sky road. My biological daughter. If anything goes wrong with your breakthrough, it will be too late to regret it. In the ancient road of the starry sky, Sukingsyu holds an emperor sword and has defeated countless quasi-emperors and experienced bloody battles. Even with Sukingsyu's terrifying talent, she still can't be absolutely invincible. In heaven, among his peers, he has many powerful enemies. When you reach the quasi-emperor realm, you can no longer kill instantly with one sword. Instead, they have to go through bloody battles again and again. After all, those who can become quasi-emperors are those with amazing talents and a firm heart. Fortunately, Sukingsyu has a strong foundation and strong strength, and she has carved an invincible path. Imperial Realm. Sukingsyu murmured. Now she no longer looks like a little girl, but looks like a 13 or 14-year-old girl, with a cold and noble face, and a mysterious mark on her forehead. That is the sign of the great perfection of the Chaos Body. The Chaos Body is completed and the Emperor Realm is achieved. The terrifying tribulation thunder swept through the ancient road in the starry sky. Every inch of the tribulation thunder showed a red-gold color, majestic, and at the same time, a sky tower appeared in the thunder clouds. In the heavenly palace, there are countless great emperors. Sukingsyu's talent was so incredible that it directly attracted countless phantoms of the great emperor. Cut. One who a sword art. Boom. The blade in Sukingsyu's hand moved slightly, and a vast chaotic power was inspired, directly cutting a huge gap in the calamity cloud covering the sky. The current one who a sword art is hundreds of millions of times more terrifying than before. As soon as Sukingsyu's sword came out, there was nothing that could resist it. Countless shadows of the great emperors dissipated one after another. But then, the tribulation thunder became even more terrifying. 72 more mysterious shadows were condensed, each one they all have terrifying majesty, standing on the sky. 72 kings. Hiss, did Su-Kingxiu's testimony actually attract a powerful person even more powerful than the emperor? Who are these 72 terrifying powerful men? Why are there no records about these 72 kings in the history books? Where did these 72 kings come from? The monks sighed and were extremely shocked. None of the great emperors in the past and present can match these 72 kings. In other words, these 72 kings are all extremely powerful, a man far stronger than the great emperor. Cut. Su-Kingxiu scolded lightly. The sky was filled with sword light, and the simple emperor's sword was so majestic that no one could stop him. The shadows of the 72 kings were shattered. After all, they were just shadows. Even if the Tao Yun remained, he is no match for the extremely talented Su-Kingxiu. Imperial Realm. Su-Kingxiu breathed out. All kinds of lightning disasters have been wiped out by him. A vast imperial power appeared from her body, extremely majestic. Su-Kingxiu has suddenly become a strong person in the imperial realm. The ancient emperors were all amazing talents. A stunningly beautiful person, but even so, the youngest emperor only achieved emperor cultivation at over 400 years old. But how old is Su-Kingxiu now? Terrible. This talent is rare in history. Clear snow, he has grown up. Suchanga murmured. I don't know why, but I feel a sense of loss. Yes, our daughter is awesome. When will Kingxiu be taken to the fairy world? Nangong Wen smiled slightly and hugged Suchanga from behind. Ahem, men and women are inseparable. Suchanga touched his nose awkwardly. Tell me this now. Where was your energy before? Nangong Wen said with a bad smile. Kingxiu is there, not good. Suchanga was helpless. Then go back to Heavenly Palace. What are you going to do? My daughter is so cute, I still want one. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, the Empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 147. Nangong Wen's face turned red with embarrassment. This made Suchanga feel a little ashamed. Why is Nangong Wen becoming more and more bold now? When Nangong Wen saw that Suchanga didn't reply, she rolled her eyes and said coquettishly, why, don't you want to return it? Ahem, willing. Suchanga smiled coquettishly. It was a coincidence that Su-Kingxiu was found last time. Because it is actually difficult for two powerful men with extraordinary strength to give birth to offspring. Well, I guess I'm going to be scammed again. 3 months passed in a flash. Su-Kingxiu has achieved the imperial realm, stabilized the realm, and is ready to go to the immortal realm. For her, there is no point in staying in the lower world. After all, both the great emperor and the supreme emperor have gone to the fairy world, and now there is no opponent for Su-Kingxiu in the lower world. Moreover, she has almost taken all the opportunities in the ancient Star Road. Staying in the lower realm is useless and can only be said to be a waste of time. Go to the fairy world. Su-Kingxiu made a decision quickly, and then followed the ancient road in the starry sky to the final end. Stepping into the fairyland in one step. In the heavenly realm, there is a legend of a great chaos body. Fairyland. After Su-Kingxiu came out of the starry sky ancient road, she appeared in the fairy world, and then opened her eyes in confusion. The fairy world looks no different from the heaven world, except that it lacks a little murderous intent. Su-Kingxiu said lightly. It is true. In the heaven, there are fighting and fighting everywhere. After all, resources are limited, and everyone is looking for the way to become an immortal. The bloody pressure brought by the Supreme lingers in everyone's heart. But there is no such thing as the immortal world. Same. The scenery is very nice. Are you a monk who ascended from the lower world? At this moment, several female cultivators from the ice palace gathered around and asked in surprise. Ever since a group of extremely talented people appeared in the fairy world, the elders of the ice palace sent them to guard here. If anyone ascends, be sure to introduce them to practice in the ice palace. The monks in the lower realm are extremely talented, and have deep combat experience, and their talent is unparalleled. They are all the best in the heaven. Not bad, what's wrong? Su Qingxiu frowned slightly, and a frightening pressure burst out from her body. In an instant, these ice palace disciples were overwhelmed. Horror. The ice palace disciples were horrified. How could such a girl be so frightened? The majesty of a person. This kind of pressure cannot be cultivated by strength alone. It can be tempered by many battles to the death. Evil spirit. Murderous spirit. Fighting intention. Sword intention. These ice palace disciples are completely attracted by Su Qingxiu. I was so dumbfounded that I couldn't speak. What's wrong? Su Qingxiu was slightly startled and put back the sword blade in her hand. She found something was wrong. How could these disciples be so weak? Compared with the heavenly realm, the realm of the Holy King has not been reached. The fairy land is not filled with immortals, but with many great emperors. Like a dog. In fact, Su Qingxiu misunderstood and fell into her own misunderstanding. In fact, the fairy world is not a terrifying world with high combat power. Instead, there are many low-end monks and even mortals. The fairy world is because you can become an immortal in this world. That's why it's called fairyland. What is your name for this fairy? A female cultivator from the ice palace asked tentatively. The god of death in front of her was really scary. But she still plucked up the courage. Fairy. Su Qingxiu was startled again. She felt like laughing. This was the first time someone called her a fairy. Does she look like a fairy? Su Qingxiu. Su Qingxiu shook her head, said the next sentence, and then turned around and left. Etc. Fairy Su Qingxiu, I wonder if you have the idea of joining the ice palace. The female cultivator stopped Su Qingxiu. If these geniuses leave, they won't be able to bear the blame from the elders. After all, the guys who ascended from the lower world are too tyrannical. Ice Palace. Su Qingxiu was confused. Yes, Ice Palace is one of the four major forces in the fairy world. Now there are three major forces, and the owner of the Ice Palace is the ultimate immortal emperor. If this fairy joins the Ice Palace, she will definitely be able to cultivate huge resources. The female cultivator said excitedly. If Su Qingxiu enters the Ice Palace, she will recruit a powerful disciple to the Ice Palace, and the elder will also give her some rewards, which is the best of both worlds. Never mind. Su Qingxiu shook her head and refused. It doesn't matter if she is one of the three major forces in the immortal world. It's boring. She came here to take a stronger path of invincibility, to find strong men, and then defeat them. The most important thing is to find those great emperors from before. Originally, Su Qingxiu planned to defeat all the great emperors before the heaven one by one in the heaven, but she did not expect that all the great emperors would go to the immortal world. Oops, fairy, wait a minute. The female cultivator stopped me. Do you want me to say more? Su Qingxiu frowned slightly and pressed the hilt of the sword with a pair of jade hands. In an instant, murderous intent surged. If these monks stopped them again, she would teach them a lesson. Killing people would not be a problem, but Xiaoxi's punishment would definitely is necessary. Forward, fairy, don't do it, don't do it. There are many geniuses from the lower world who have gone to the Ice Palace, so I want to ask you if you have any thoughts on joining the Ice Palace. The female cultivator was startled, and quickly waved her hands and explained. It looks like this is a murderous god. He will attack if he disagrees with you. Scary. Su Kingxiu snorted softly, retracted the sword blade in her hand, and her eyes moved slightly. If nothing unexpected happened, this monk was talking about the immortal phoenix and other great emperors in the heaven. Just in time, you can go to this ice palace to take a look. Try to see how big the gap is between yourself and the supreme emperor. Then take me to the ice palace. Su Kingxiu said lightly. Real, join our ice palace, you will definitely have a lot of resources to cultivate. What? This female cultivator wanted to persuade Su Kingxiu, but suddenly she was stunned. Are you going to the ice palace? Very good. The female cultivator said in surprise. Being able to lead this big man into the ice palace requires a reward from the elders. Although there is no shortage of resources in the fairy world, the more resources the better for monks. So the female cultivator is very surprised. Lead the way. Su Kingxiu said lightly. Okay, fairy, I wonder if you are in the imperial realm? Asked the female nun. Not bad, what's wrong? Su Kingxiu was a little confused. At the same time, she cursed in her heart. Why does this female cultivator talk so much? Wow, then our palace master may be your mistress. I guess it won't be long before I have to call you, fairy, grand master, great uncle. Su Kingxiu was full of question marks. What is the situation? The palace mistress is her mistress? She has never been a disciple. Could it be something about my romantic dad? No, no. Is there still such a thing in the fairy world? Su Kingxiu felt a little desperate. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 148. Wait a minute, why is the palace mistress you are talking about my mistress? Su Kingxiu asked with some confusion. This matter is really too strange. Maybe this ice palace disciple admitted his mistake. But it might also be his father's trouble back then. After all, the emperors all admired his father very much, and Suchanga was busy in the fairy world a while ago, so he might have caused a lot of trouble. Possible. She decided to book this ice palace. One is because those great emperors are the candidates she must challenge if she wants to find her way to invincibility. The other two is because this master Lashiza. Wife, it's the palace master. Those monks who ascended from the heavens all became disciples of a big boss named Senior Su, and that Senior Su is the palace master of my ice palace. So the palace master naturally became their mistress. Isn't this a normal thing? The female cultivator explained to Nangang Win. This is not normal. Su Kingxiu scolded. She felt a little bad all over. Ah, okay, not normal. Not normal. The female cultivator began to feel uneasy. This god of death doesn't have any grudge against Senior Su. Will introducing it into the ice palace gate in this way cause any problems or troubles? For a moment, the female cultivator didn't know what to do, because she saw that Su Kingxiu's behavior was so strange. That, fairy, can you not go to the ice palace? I will take you to the immortal city. The ice palace is not suitable for female cultivators. The female nun said nervously. If not, go to the ice palace. Su Kingxiu frowned slightly, and a surge of pressure surged out. The female cultivator was so frightened that she nodded repeatedly, not daring to say no more. This man is really scary. Isn't it said that the great emperors who came up from heaven are all very kind, decent people, amazingly talented and polite at the same time? How come a murderer comes up? In fact, this female cultivator had a wrong idea. There is no simple person who can become an emperor in the heaven. She is very polite in the ice palace just because the owner of the ice palace is their master wife. If it weren't for Suchanga's relationship, they wouldn't be so respectful even to the supreme immortal emperor. Soon, Su Kingxiu was brought to the ice palace. In fact, Ice Palace now has a set of procedures specially developed for the monks who come up from the heaven. If a monk from the upper world is found, he will first be negotiated with the disciples, and then brought to the Ice Palace. The elders will then detect him, accept him as a disciple, and worship him in the Ice Palace. It's just that these elders, and even the Ice Palace master, didn't expect that the first monk to come up from the heaven would be Suchanga's daughter. In the hall made of ice, Sukingsyu stood in the center, surrounded by a group of elders who were admiring her, which made Sukingsyu blush a little. Tisk tisk, chaos body, I haven't seen this kind of physique in how many years. The great elder was amazed. The chaos body. Not only is it rare in the heavenly realm, but it is also the #1 physique in the immortal realm. It has not appeared many times since ancient times. It is said that there were 72 kings in ancient times. There are 72 amazing and stunning physiques, but there is no chaos body. Therefore, the 72 kings' joint attack to kill the immortal formation did not have the peak strength. After that, it failed miserably. In short, it was very miserable. Chaos body, moreover, the swords will reaches the sky, the foundation is incomparable, and there is no hidden injury in the body. The most important thing is the bone age, he's only 6 years old. The second elder was dumbfounded. She observed Sukingsyu's bone age, and then she was surprised to find that she was only 6 years old. Outrageous! What happened to this world? Bone age of 6 years. And then cultivated to the realm of the great emperor? Both in terms of talent and foundation, he is unparalleled, and his sword intention is as sharp as the sky. It can be said that no man in a million years has seen such a good young talent. I really cherish it. Suddenly, almost all the elders were interested in accepting Sukingsyu as a disciple. But they didn't say anything. Everything ultimately depends on the palace master's decision. If this person is the palace master's disciple, it will be cool. No one can even think of accepting a disciple. This girl, I wonder if Senior Su in the heaven is your master? The great elder asked tentatively, with an expectant look on his face. She expected it to be true. If not, then she could accept Sukingsyu as her disciple. If such a gifted genius can accept Sukingsyu as her disciple and teach her more, she will definitely become an unparalleled disciple in the future. Of the immortal emperor. Mr. Su? You mean, ahem, no, he is not my master. Sukingsyu shook her head. She originally wanted to say Suchanga, but calling her father by his first name was a bit disrespectful, so she changed her mind. Although she and Suchanga could fight and fight, in front of outsiders, Sukingsyu is definitely very protective of Suchanga. After all, he is her blood relative. No. That's great. A group of elders said in surprise in unison. Great. They are not Senior Su's disciples. Doesn't that mean, it has nothing to do with the palace master? They will be able to freely recruit disciples. This is the body of chaos. He will definitely have the qualifications to become the supreme immortal emperor in the future. King Xiu, come to my section. I am the great elder and have the most resources. If you come to my sect, you will get 10 realm-breaking pills, 5 supreme heavenly pills, and countless immortal weapons for you to choose from. The great elder said hurriedly. He immediately revealed countless benefits, which shocked the surrounding disciples. Although there is no shortage of resources in the immortal world, it is not made like this. 10 mirror-breaking pills. The so-called mirror-breaking pills, it is a kind of pill that can help monks break through the realm. Swallowing one pill can increase the probability of breakthrough by about 10%. 10 pills are basically a sure way to break through. The great elder is so arrogant. Don't. King Xiu, although I don't have the mirror-breaking pill, I do have 49 immortal emperor formations. If you become my disciple, these formations will be yours from now on. The second elder smiled slightly. Formation is her special skill. Hiss. The disciples around him took a deep breath again. You must know that the immortal emperor formation is usually closely watched by the second elders. Even if other elders want to borrow it, they will not be allowed to use it. If the 49 immortal emperor formations are united, the power they can unleash will be comparable to that of the supreme immortal emperor. This is definitely one of the most precious secret treasures in the immortal world. The second elder actually made a wish that he could pass on to Sukingsyu in the future. Is the chaos body so alluring? Don't compete with me. Second child. It's up to you and me to grab it. Several elders talked about it and even quarreled. Sukingsyu was confused. Sukingsyu was confused. Shouldn't the immortal emperor be aloof from the world? Why are everyone so naughty? There is no sense of isolation or condescension at all. But he is really arrogant. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, daughter wrong. Chapter 149. Come to my door. I accept a disciple. This mere formation has no practical use, so I should break it with my own strength. Then you come and break it? Come on, come on. Speaking of the 49 levels of the immortal emperor formation, it was really not something they could break. Only a boss in the realm of the supreme immortal emperor can break the immortal emperor formation. And an expert at that level. There are only 4 in the entire fairy world. Oh no, there are only 3. Ahem, what are you arguing about? Is this a new disciple? A voice that sounded like 10,000 years of ice sounded. In an instant, all the elders present consciously became quiet. Palace Master of the Ice Palace. Sukingsyu's eyes were slightly solemn. A figure at the level of the Supreme Immortal Emperor. His aura was like 10,000 years of ice. She was wearing a white gauze on her face, so her appearance couldn't be clearly seen, but her eyes were calm and majestic. It's the ultimate coldness. It's not the same as my mother's aloofness. Chaos body. The Ice Palace Master's eyes moved slightly. Chaos body. If nothing happens, he will definitely become the Supreme Immortal Emperor. A great talent. Are you from heaven? The Lord of the Ice Palace asked. The momentum around her body flashed, and a surging pressure suppressed Sukingsyu's body. Right. Sukingsyu replied. Neither humble nor arrogant. Her pupils shrank slightly, and the shocking sword intent soared into the sky. She was able to resist this pressure. Yes, not an embroidered pillow. The Lord of the Ice Palace smiled slightly. She just wanted to test whether Sukingsu was a greenhouse flower. After all, even if it is a chaotic body, if it does not experience fighting, it will never grow. Now look at Sukingsu's strength, very powerful, with an extremely strong foundation, superb cultivation, and condensed sword intent. At first glance, he looks like he crawled out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. What's even scarier is Sukingsu, he is only 6 years old. Just reached 6 years old. Talented man. Not bad. The Ice Palace Master said that the two were pretty good. Then he seemed to think of something. He looked at Sukingsu and asked, what is your relationship with Suchanga? The Lord of the Ice Palace really wants to accept Sukingsu as a direct disciple. She is simply too outstanding. The most important thing is that Sukingsu is a girl. A girl. The Lord of the Ice Palace has a natural affection for female cultivators, so for Sukingsu this disciple is extremely satisfied, and even wants to accept Sukingsu as his true disciple. Moreover, the characteristics of the chaos body allow Sukingsu to inherit the 2 paths of ice and fire, which is perfect. The Lord of the Ice Palace is becoming more and more satisfied with Sukingsu. Palace Master, she is not Lord Su's disciple, you'd better stop thinking about it, and we have already agreed that she will be our disciple. The great elder said anxiously. She had seen what the Palace Master meant. It was obvious that he was going to shoot someone. If Su Kingxiu was Suchanga's disciple, then this disciple would have been tricked directly by the master today. Fortunately not. No. Even better, I am willing to accept you as my direct disciple. The Lord of the Ice Palace smiled. As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was shocked. True disciples. Moreover, the Supreme Immortal Emperor accepted disciples as true disciples. This kind of thing has never happened in hundreds of thousands of years. After all, true disciples are it is equivalent to being the successor of the mantle, which means that the master of the Ice Palace is ready to pass on all his lifelong secrets to Su Kingxiu. Even the position of the future master of the Ice Palace will be passed on to Su Kingxiu. For a while, many disciples were a little jealous. But there was no way. Who knows where Su Kingxiu's strength and talent are? A living chaotic body. Many people have never seen a chaotic body. They have only seen it in myths and legends. The chaotic body that appeared in the last fairy world was too floating. They were killed by the powerful men from the immortal temple on the way. Only now did they see a living chaotic body. Is this the chaotic body? Envious. They are chaotic bodies, but they work hard. The scariest thing is that someone who is more talented than you works harder than you. It's true, monks who work hard usually don't have bad luck. A group of monks were talking about it, and they were extremely envious of Su Kingxiu. This emperor asks you whether you have anything to do with Suchanga. The Lord of the Ice Palace smiled. She is so satisfied with this apprentice. He has accepted it. Even if he is Suchanga's disciple, she will take it. If he can be a master, who would like to be a master's wife? Su, he is me. Su Kingxiu hesitated for a moment, always feeling that it would be bad if she said it, but after hesitating for a while, she said directly, the Suchanga you are talking about is my father. After Su Kingxiu finished speaking, the hall suddenly became silent. No one could keep their expressions at all, they all looked very surprised. The female cultivator who brought Su Kingxiu here almost dropped her eyes to the ground. After working on it for a long time, Su Kingxiu said that she was not Suchanga's disciple, but actually Suchanga's disciple. Outrageous. This is too. The great elder was extremely surprised. He wanted to say something in a daze, but in the end it turned into a sigh. To accept that person's daughter as a disciple, she is not qualified yet. No wonder. That daughter has such talent and talent. She can achieve Taoism and become an emperor at the age of only 6 years old, and her foundation is so solid. It has always been very normal. After all, that Lord may be a being who has surpassed the Supreme Immortal Emperor. This, really. Clear snow? Are you his daughter? The Lord of the Ice Palace took off her veil, revealing her peerless appearance. For a moment, the female cultivators in the hall were stunned. This kind of appearance, regardless of gender, would instantly kill them all. Yes, if there is no second Suchanga, then what you are talking about is my father. Su Kingxiu said lightly. When she was in the heaven, no one knew her identity except the emperor. Everything was done by her own efforts. Although Suchanga's power allowed her to walk directly in the heaven and even the fairy world, but we have to walk the road of invincibility. If we can only rely on the shadow of our fathers, then there is no need to talk about the road of invincibility. Real. Clear snow, call me mother. The Ice Palace Master's eyes were full of tenderness, as if he could melt thousands of years of ice. Su Kingxiu couldn't help but be intoxicated by her gentle charm. Ah! Su Kingxiu screamed, biting the tip of her tongue, thinking about Nangong Wen in her mind. He forced himself to come back to his senses from that kind of civility. This powerful Supreme Immortal Emperor can affect the world with every move he makes. Su Kingxiu looked at the female cultivators around her. Even the first elder and the second elder were completely intoxicated. Fear. Fortunately, She had grown up with Suchanga and Nangongwin since she was a child, and had a natural resistance to this kind of terrifying Taoyuan. In addition, Nangongwin was now even more tyrannical than the Ice Palace Master. So Su Kingxiu just woke up after thinking about Nangongwin's face. I have a mother. Su Kingxiu said timidly. I always felt that the palace master in front of me was strange. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 150. Su Kingxiu really didn't know why Li Yulai, the owner of the Ice Palace, had to be so gentle to her. And she also wants to be her own mother. Clear the snow, hurry. Ice Palace Master Li Yulai urged. Su Kingxiu was stupid again. Why is this guy so anxious? Ahem, Kingxiu has a mother. Su Kingxiu smiled awkwardly. In her heart, she was madly criticizing Suchanga. Li Yulai, the owner of the Ice Palace, saw that it was Suchanga who had caused this mess. It's true that he died young. Practice honestly, and the result will be suddenly a group of people came out and said they wanted to be her mother. It was so scary. Okay, I am the Emperor Meng Lang. Ice Palace Master Li Yulai gradually calmed down. But she still looked at Su Kingxiu with a solemn expression. She felt a little mixed in her heart. After all, this is Suchanga's daughter. Now that she's here, she has to cover herself. Otherwise, I'm sorry Suchanga. Kingxiu, can I ask who your mother is? A flash of ambition flashed in the eyes of Ice Palace Master Li Yulai. She was really curious. Who was one step ahead of her? He actually gave birth to a child with Suchanga. For these people in the fairy world, it is normal to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. It has been like this for many years, even from ancient times to the present. So Li Yulai didn't think there was anything wrong with Suchanga at all. But, the problem now is that she was preempted by someone else. She is the supreme immortal emperor. If an ordinary woman stood on her head, she would definitely not be able to accept it. My mother? Nangongwin. Su Kingxiu said lightly. She had almost guessed what the Ice Palace Master Li Yulai was thinking. It was just jealousy. Or she wanted to have a fight with her mother. But Su Kingxiu is not afraid. She knew very well that although the cheap daddy Suchanga was a scumbag, he was a normal person and could definitely handle this kind of problem. Nangongwin. The Ice Palace Master narrowed his eyes slightly, murmured to himself, and moved his hand slightly, trying to calculate Nangongwin's life. But the result was blank. Li Yulai was shocked. He couldn't calculate Nangongwin at all. Who is he? Terrible. This shows that Nangongwin is at least a strong person in the same realm as her, or even stronger. He is very likely to be a super strong person in the legendary Hedeo realm. Most likely. After all, that bastard Suchanga has very high standards. Being able to give birth to a chaotic body is enough to show how terrifying the talents of these parents are. Forget it, Great Elder, arrange a place for Kingxiu and let her live temporarily in the Ice Palace. Lu Li sighed and waved her hand. There is really nothing she can do against Su Kingxiu. She is obviously very talented, but let's accept a disciple, inappropriate. It turns out she's still Suchanga's daughter. I really don't know how to arrange this little devil, so let her live and practice in the Ice Palace for the time being, and let her play as she pleases. Li Yulai sighed, then turned and disappeared. Yes. The Great Elder nodded slightly. At this time, the Great Elder's heart was filled with shock. This girl in front of me. His background is a bit scary. His father is Senior Su, who can easily kill the master of the Immortal Temple and even break the seal of the forbidden area of the Divine City. The mother is an extremely mysterious figure. Judging from the expression of the palace owner just now, it is estimated that she will not be simple. And the palace owner is this girl's second mother-in-law. This is too scary. The second generation of the best immortal. I have to say that the great elder was sore at this time. It would be okay if he was the second generation of the supreme immortal emperor, but Mr. Su is obviously a powerful person who has surpassed the supreme immortal emperor and has broken the rules of the immortal world. Be sure to make good friends. Thinking of this, the great elder smiled slightly. Fairy King Xiu, come with me and take you to the residence of the true disciples. You can live there temporarily. If you feel it is not suitable, you can come and tell me. The great elder smiled slightly. All the disciples in the sect were shocked. The residence of the true disciples. This smells so good. The so-called residence of the true disciples is a fairy mountain. The spiritual energy is rich, and there is a special spiritual plant courtyard, where many spiritual plants of heaven and earth are planted. The alchemy pavilion and the weapon refining pavilion are complete, and there are many servants who specialize in taking care of them. At the same time, true disciples can even recruit their own disciples or disciples, and they have great authority. There are only a limited number of true disciples in the whole sect. Even the previous supreme emperors do not have the title of true disciples now. In fact, the immortal Phoenix and the others gradually left the Ice Palace after cultivating in the Ice Palace for a period of time. After all, what they longed for was fighting and the realm of the supreme immortal emperor. They would never stay in a place full of women. The residence of true disciples. Su Kingxiu murmured. In fact, she doesn't know what to do now. Just stay in the Ice Palace for now. After all, it's a bit challenging here. Wait a minute, Great Elder, why don't you ask Kingxiu to come to a mountain peak under my door? There are 49 layers of formations on that mountain peak. Kingxiu can try to learn it. The second elder said quickly. She is determined to hand over the 49-layer immortal emperor formation to Su Kingxiu. Putting aside all selfish thoughts, this 49-layer immortal emperor formation has the ability to advance to the supreme immortal emperor formation. Potential, but she may not be able to achieve it in her whole life. But Su Kingxiu can. Chaos body. Proficient in formations, alchemy, and swordsmanship, everything about Su Kingxiu is perfect. He is definitely the perfect candidate to inherit the imperial formation. Do you want to rob me? The great elder frowned slightly. The atmosphere suddenly became a little subtle. Su Kingxiu looked embarrassed. I feel like I have caused a subtle conflict between the two elders. I have the inheritance of immortal emperor sword technique. I have the inheritance of ancient alchemy techniques. I have. A group of elders were discussing. It is impossible to accept Su Kingxiu as a disciple alone, but if Su Kingxiu becomes his successor, it will be more enjoyable. Okay, stop fighting. After a while, the great elder cleared his throat. Let's do this, give Kingxiu a separate elder mountain, and each of us will teach him for one day, taking turns. The great elder smiled slightly. All the elders pondered, and then nodded. This is indeed the best way. Su Kingxiu was stunned. These elders are all masters of the immortal emperor realm. Some are proficient in ancient alchemy, some are proficient in unparalleled swordsmanship, and some elders are proficient in formations or divine secret deduction techniques. Anyway, each elder has his or her own special skills. This is to make her become an all-rounder. However, the chaos body is inherently tolerant of everything, and she is still young, so she has time to learn so many paths, and then become invincible on every path. Good. Su Kingxiu nodded slightly. Her eyes were full of heat. Fantasy, the empress was reincarnated as my daughter. Author, Daughter Wrong. Chapter 151. Su Kingxiu was quite curious about this fairy mountain. After all, Su Kingxiu had never seen such a thing as a fairy mountain, let alone lived on it. in heaven, before Suchanga opened the path to immortality. Even if a broken stool used by an immortal falls to the lower realm, it will cause countless great emperors to chase after it. But now, they have everything in the fairy world at their fingertips, right in front of their eyes. Okay, then King Suo, come with me. The great elder smiled slightly. He took Su Kingxiu and a group of elders to the mountain peak arranged for Su Kingxiu. As for the disciples watching, they were completely dumbfounded. What kind of operation is this? From the mountain peak used by the true disciples to the one used by the elders' mountain peak. This gap is a bit too big. The location and grade of the residence determine the monk's status in the ice palace. The great elder arranged Su Kingxiu at Elder Peak, which is almost equivalent to telling them that Su Kingxiu's status is the same as that of the elder. You know, the elders are all terrifying powers at the immortal emperor level. Su Kingxiu, this is a step to the sky. However, relying on his father-generation relationship, he will definitely not have any low achievements. Soon, Su Kingxiu was brought to a huge fairy mountain. This fairy mountain is very vast and magical. On the left side of the fairy mountain, there is a dim brilliance, exuding a faint cold light, and an extremely cold ice is gestating in it. Just looking at it, it seems to be able to freeze a person's soul. On the right side of fairy mountain, there is endless magma, there are also divine fires and flames all over the sky, as if it's a world in fire. This, how to live here? Su Kingxiu was a little confused. If you go up such a terrifying mountain, you will either freeze to death or be burned to death. How can there be people living there? Let alone some kind of spiritual plant garden or some other mess. This is the Ice and Fire Peak. It was the residence of the palace master back then. It was also here that the palace master attained enlightenment and became the supreme immortal emperor. However, this left behind a strange scene of ice and fire. At the same time, this is a mountain that can inspire the divine body to a great extent. The great elder explained to Su Kingxiu, "We can wait for you for a month to let you adapt to the environment on Ice and Fire Peak. After a month, whether you are suitable or not, we will come to teach you." The second elder said calmly. A month is almost gone. In Ice and Fire Peak, what matters is not actually strength, but the pressure from the Tao, the pressure from the depths of the soul. There was once an immortal supreme disciples who came to Ice and Fire Peak have not managed to step into Ice and Fire Peak for half a year, let alone adapt to the environment above. Su Kingxiu frowned slightly, and then stepped into the Ice and Fire Peak. Etc. The second elder exclaimed, and then wanted to go in and get Su Kingxiu out. You must know that entering the Ice and Fire Peak requires entering bit by bit. If you enter directly like this, something will happen. It may even be life-threatening. But the next second, the expression of the second elder froze. Su Kingxiu actually walked directly along the ridge where the ice and fire blended, slowly walking up. The surrounding ice and flames gradually merged into one, transforming into yin and yang. Airflow. Then it gathered on top of Su Kingxiu's head to form the yin and yang fish, and then gradually turned into a chaotic airflow emitting a grayish-black light. At the same time, Su Kingxiu's chaotic body is growing rapidly. What? Chaos body actually has this kind of miraculous effect. The great elder was stunned. A group of elders were stunned. They all stared blankly at the girl walking between ice and fire. Shocking. The light blooming from the chaos body made every immortal emperor feel somewhat inexplicable. Touched. Chaos body. The first physique of all time. Sure enough, the reputation is not in vain. Time passed bit by bit. 3 days passed by in a flash. The ice and fire on the Ice and Fire Peak had been faintly extinguished, and Daeyun had been absorbed by Su Kingxiu. What is waiting now is to slowly digest it and turn the Taoreim into one's own understanding. At the same time, Su Kingxiu's realm is slowly rising. Great Emperor. The Great Emperor's Pinnacle. The Supreme Great Emperor. A month later. The elders are all numb. This realm, the breakthrough is really a bit outrageous. In 1 month, from the first time I entered the realm of the Great Emperor, I have reached the pinnacle of the Supreme Immortal Emperor, and I will be able to break through to the real immortal realm immediately. The speed is terrifying. It would have been ordinary. It would take at least tens of thousands of years for a monk to accomplish so many breakthroughs. This is still a genius. If he is a mediocre person, it may take hundreds of thousands of years. But Su Kingxiu only spent a short month. He is about to break through to become a true immortal, and the power of the rules is extremely strong. With the power of the supreme rules, he is even comparable to some masters in the immortal realm. The great elder murmured to himself. Su Kingxiu is really a genius. Before he has broken through to the true immortal, the power of the rules is already comparable to that of the immortal. This has never happened since the birth of the immortal world. Look, we are about to break through to true immortality. The second elder exclaimed. Su Kingxiu had almost reached the top of the mountain. The two qi of yin and yang gathered above her head and were constantly transformed into the two qi of chaos. At the same time, the huge power of rules was continuously absorbed into the body by Su Kingxiu. The Supreme Emperor Ju Peak. Breakthrough. True Immortal. Su Kingxiu breathed a long sigh of relief. The realm has reached the level of true immortal. The remaining Taoyuan of ice and fire peak has almost been absorbed by me. Su Kingxiu murmured. This ice and fire peak, in ancient times, on the day when Li Yulai became the supreme immortal emperor, countless charms remained. Even if the immortal emperor entered it, he would fall on the spot. But as time goes by, the Daoyun has almost dissipated. The Daoyun left now is less than 1% of what it was back then. But for Su Kingxiu, the Daoyun is still huge, and it can naturally gather into the two qi of yin and yang and transform into a chaotic body the nourishment. If it weren't for the chaos body, she wouldn't have been able to break through so fast. Thank you, elders. Su Kingxiu bowed slightly to express her gratitude. Although she wants to take the road of invincibility, this does not mean that she is arrogant. On the contrary, Su Kingxiu is relatively kind to others. The snow is serious, all this is your own chance. The great elder smiled.